and welcome to the very first mini workshop with the Shouting Mute live on Zoom. I'm Dave, aka the Shouting Mute, and I'm called that because I'm so quiet but I can't shut up. First, we're going to go around the Zoom room, saying our name and a word to describe how we're each feeling today. So my name is Dave, and a word to describe myself today is excited. Who wants to go next?
Because my name's Stara, and how do you feel?
Happy.
She feels happy.
Nice to meet you on Zoom.
Hi, I'm George, and in light of everything that's going on at the moment, I feel mixed generally. That would be the word. But in regards to this session, I'm also very excited.
Good. Yeah, maybe I should go. So I'm Kerry. I actually didn't introduce myself. I'm Kerry, and I'm Dave's creative enabler, part of the Shouting Mute team. And I'm feeling, similar. I feel overwhelmed by everything going on, but also a little bit overwhelmed at this first Zoom session, looking at the technical stuff. But also very excited. Sorry, that was like 3 words with explanations. So that's how I'm feeling. So who wants to go next? Josh? Oh, Melissa?
My name is Melissa, or you can call me Mal. I am feeling happy to be here.
Great, thanks, Mal. And Josh?
Hi everyone, my name's Josh. Genuinely feeling quite overwhelmed by the whole situation that we're in with the lockdown. But I'm excited to be here because it's something creative and fun.
Good. Cool. Okay, Dave, back to you.
Nice to meet you on Zoom. We're going to write a poem called I Am an Object. This task is inspired by my own poem called I Am an Eye Gaze, which I'll read for you now. I'm an eye gaze. I'm here to help someone talk and do other things. Shopping, tweeting, Facebooking, dating, emailing, betting, gambling, playing fantasy football, texting people, usually a crush, properly chatting to people face to face, and not on Zoom. Apart from in a lockdown, I will allow that. And doing stuff I don't care about but have to do because it's my bloody job. The list of possibilities of online mischief is longer than a trip around the globe 100 zillion times. Luckily, he hasn't found the dark web yet. Dave's not living in gangster's paradise yet. I refuse to get involved in drugs or guns. I don't want to be in a plastic bag at the police station in a dark and cold locker yet. He thinks something and presses my buttons with his eyes. I play music for him really loud until his mom says, David John Young, turn that down. His mom is very cool. She knows me better than Dave, but I have to say he's right until she proves he isn't. I am really for talking. Honestly, Dave's never on the chat page. Only when he has to be in meetings at family dinners. I get splashes of pasta sauce, pizza, and chocolate milkshake all over me. His eyes drill through my screen like a lightsaber cutting through a metal door. He's on the dating sites again. This is when he uses me as a James Bond gadget to get potential partners to like him. I don't know why he needs me at times like these, when his dreamy brown eyes do all the talking with the selfies instead. So now you're going to write a poem like that. But first I want you to start by looking around your environment for an object to write about. And it's important that you really love the object you choose. So you can leave the Zoom on but spend a minute or so looking for an object that you love, and when you've got one, come back to the group.
I don't know if you can look around yourself and find an object that you love or would like to write in the voice of. We're going to give you a few minutes to find something. Doesn't have to be something that you can see. Maybe there's something you have in mind. Have a think about it. But like Dave wrote a poem from the point of view of his eye gaze, that's what this poem will be like. So you'll write in the voice of an object. So think about which object's voice you'd like to explore.
Okay, fantastic. Has everybody got an object? Going to tell everyone what our chosen object is and bring it on screen for a few minutes if we can, or describe it and tell us why you love it. So who wants to go first?
I was torn. I was thinking maybe to write a poem in the voice of my phone because it's very versatile. But equally, the first thing that came to my mind would be my chair, because it's with me all the time and it's something I couldn't live without and I'm extremely grateful for. But also, you could say that I have quite a complicated relationship with it because it's not always the best thing to be in a chair, but also there are very positive aspects to it as well. So I thought that would be what I settled on. So I think I'm going to write about my wheelchair.
That's great, Georgia. And I think when you have a complicated relationship with an object, that almost makes it more interesting. So I think that's a good choice, and also different, because like I would probably write about my phone too, whereas I don't have a wheelchair, so it makes it more interesting for a reader. So that's great.
I can go, yeah. I'm going to write about my curtains, which I know is really, really boring. But I kind of was like, I really like them. I actually only got them like a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know, maybe I was thinking perspective curtains I can play with, light, hiding. I was like, there's actually a lot of room there. So I'm just going to go with curtains.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's very different. So same thing of, yeah, writing about something different for a reader makes it very interesting. Yeah, I like the light aspect of it, light and dark. Very cool.
She says her hands. Because why? Because she meets people and she uses signs to meet people and with her, and she uses her hands when she meets them.
That's great. See, again, something very different. other people wouldn't know that same relationship that you have with your hands. So I think that's really good. So Josh or Mal? Josh?
So I'm going to write about my PlayStation 3 because I use it a lot and I trust it wholeheartedly to play my films and my games, and it performs really well, but it's quite an old console and some might see it as outdated. So I'm going to write about that.
That's very cool. I'd be interested to know what voice your PlayStation has. Maybe it has an elderly voice or a jerky kind of voice in your head. We'll see. I like it. Okay. And when you're ready, Mel, to share, take your time.
My device is my thing I am going to talk about, because I don't use it for speech.
That's great. So it'll be quite similar to Dave's eye gaze one, I guess. Be very interesting to hear your relationship with it. Okay, so back to Dave then.
Now I want you to write a poem like mine about my eye gaze, as if you were that object. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to write from your object's point of view. And my advice is to think about what this object would say if it could talk to a stranger about you. Have fun with it and see how you get on. You can make it happy, sad, or funny if you like. It's up to you. Does anyone have any questions?
Is everyone okay to start writing? Or do you have any questions? Everybody happy? Mel, are you happy to start or are you writing a question? You happy to start? Okay. So you've got 10 minutes to write and then we'll come back together and hopefully share your poems.
Okay, time's up. Who wants to share their poem?
That was a quick 10 minutes. It went by quickly, but I think what I've got is okay. So my object was about my wheelchair, obviously. So I said, he sits on me, but it's not always as fun as that sounds, though. I go where he goes, always, seeing what he sees. I've heard the stories. He didn't take care of the others. I see them when he goes in the garage, cobwebbed and unused. It's different for me, though. He cleans all over and even sprayed me with the pressure washer when we got back from Leeds Festival. It's because he understands now, I think, that we need each other, that I help him achieve and to live.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's great, George. Loved it.
I think I wanted to add a little bit more, but it went by so quickly. But I think it could have been even more cyclical. I think I might go back to it, but it was actually quite easy when I thought about what I'd spoken about, what made me want to write about the chair and how the relationship changes. I could see like a pattern of how I wanted it to go. I think it could be longer, but I was pleased with what I had.
Yeah, well, you can totally come back to these poems and make them longer, redraft them like Dave often suggests. Poems can be long or short, it's up to you. But yeah, sometimes it's good to just get something on paper and then come back to it. But it's great as it is for now.
Thank you.
So who else would like to share? Okay, so just unmute when you're ready. I think Melissa's going now.
I am not used for speech. The person who uses me cannot read very well, nor can she write very well. The amount of times I have to make the right changes for her.
That's great. That's so good. And I think Dave will probably relate to that a lot, that changes have to be made on your behalf. So that's really good. Do you think you'll keep going with it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Great. It's a really good start. Okay, who else would like to share? Josh?
I am a PlayStation 3. I was designed by a large corporation called Sony. I was not made or owned by Disney, and I'm not very happy about that. The year is 2020, and I've been long forgotten by modern gamers. But there's this one guy, and he gets in my personal space quite a lot. He just won't leave me alone, and he's in constant awe of how I can play all of his DVDs perfectly, and there isn't a single scratch at the end result. I'm very dusty, and I need a good clean, but how am I meant to tell him that? That's all I've got.
That's brilliant. It does sound like an animated voice. It's really good.
Thank you.
I'll go next because I don't want to go very end because that's too much pressure.
That's fine.
So this is from the point of view of my curtains, and it actually sounds a bit silly, but anyway. But
Silly's good.
yeah, but it sounds like really silly. It's just like Julia, I feel disconnected from the world around me, like a loose transient material between outside and inside, a loose membrane or vessel soaked and bleached at my surface. Like Julia, I obscure things, and I can see that the shades of how I've aged and weathered impacts what I see. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just I don't know, whatever. Maybe I just reduce the noises around me.
I think that's great. That doesn't sound silly at all. The choice of words is beautiful. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think Sarah's the last one to go. Are you ready?
You ready, Sarah? Come around. I'm going to hide behind the computer so I can see Sarah's sign.
Okay.
I am Sarah's hands. I sign. I sign to all the people that Sarah meets. I work hard. I work hard. I don't sleep. I make Sarah happy. I talk to Sarah's friends and I make them happy. I dance. I make Sarah happy. I clap and wake everyone up in the theatre. I throw the ball for the dog. I make the dog happy. I eat all the food. I make Sarah happy, but not hungry. I meet all the people and make Sarah happy. I talk to all the people and all the people are happy.
That's great. So your hands make everyone very happy, including you. But also I noticed you've got that repetition in there that Dave suggests in his writing tips about repetition in poetry, which is really good. So thank you. So I'll hand back over to Dave. I'll be quiet now.
Great work, people. You are all fantastic poets. Have you got any thoughts and questions to finish?
Yes, I want to ask what motivates you to write poems, because sometimes I feel like when I write that it feels like maybe I'm just being self-indulgent and not useful, rather than just, I don't know, like cleaning the living room or something. I don't know.
Writing is about giving voices, yours, the disabled people in your community. The Black people in your community matter. Women matter, and we should more women in power. Your sex matters. Difference is the key to peace. And all working together is the key to the climate emergency. All together, all safe, all can live for life. The world is one planet, and that is the way forward to save the human race. Some people won't say, but the climate emergency is actually a human emergency. If we don't protect life, we will die. Writers have a big job putting that across.
So just to add to that, Dave at the moment is being inspired by climate change and making a difference through some of his work. Those are the themes that he's writing about. So those are the things that are motivating his writing at the moment.
That's cool. Yeah, I've definitely got loads of, I could definitely relate to all that as well. It's very cool.
Good, great.
I was wondering, I'm very new to poetry writing. I've never really tried it seriously, other than, you know, I can only remember writing poetry in school at quite a young age. I'm coming across more poetry now, and it's resonating with me a lot more, which is why I responded so immediately to hearing about this workshop, is because I've been wanting to give it a try for a short time now. But all the writing I've previously done, because I have quite a bit of experience in other forms, people talk about it as a craft and needing to be, you know, writing every day and honing things and coming back to things all the time. I was wondering, Dave, if you saw poetry in the same way, or if to you it has to be purely compulsive or coming from a place of needing to put something out there, rather than honing something and making it more of a craft and more of a, you know, more of a separate thing from emotions and feelings.
I was watching a poetry performance yesterday, and they said that it can be anything but for me, and most people it is about emotional.
That's what poetry for me seems always to be not that other forms of writing aren't this way, but poetry seems extremely raw, and I know for me that I'm usually compelled only to write when I feel something is necessary for me to say and to get out there. I use this book that I'm writing in now as a journal to, and there are not that many entries considering how long we've been in lockdown, but it has really, really helped me um, uh, sort of get out the thoughts that have just sort of overwhelmed me. If they've gotten really bad, then I've put them in here. And I think just having that experience of writing that short poem it really made me see how I could really use that as another outlet for not just not just creatively, but also emotionally. So I can see how that's the case, more so than other writing forms.
And that is good.
I also think when I get overwhelmed, whenever you're advised to like look at objects in your room, it can be a grounding way of actually like engaging with the object and like engaging with how you're feeling through a perspective that feels like it doesn't have to be yours, but it is yours, which is good.
I think that's right, because what struck me when I was writing that poem is that what I'm considering a lot at the moment during this time where, like we all acknowledged right at the start of the session, where we're all feeling quite overwhelmed and have mixed feelings about everything. I think the best way always to approach life generally is taking a more understanding approach to other people and to to individuals, but also situations as a whole. And it really made me take another perspective, and that's just an object it's just an object. But if you were to, for example, write a poem from another person's point of view, that if you were just thinking inside your own head, you didn't realize why someone was doing something, you couldn't empathize with them. I think actively trying to write in their voice would really give you an insight into their own head and why they're doing what they're doing. So I can see that being really powerful.
I haven't actually done poetry since school, so this is the first time I've actually been able to write something down.
That's great, Mel. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Do you think you'll do some more poetry?
Probably not, because of my spelling problems. I can use the device to find the word, but then I need to know what word I'm spelling first.
I see.
Because
go on.
I'm typing at the moment, so
there are writers that have been published that don't spell all the words correctly, or they write in an accent, so they're not spelt in the English way. So you can always write poetry and spell it however you want to spell it. It's your expression. So I wouldn't worry about that. And like George is saying, and Julia, they're talking about expressing yourself through poetry is being quite good for you. So maybe try it anyway.
Yeah, I will. I'll try. Because it'll do me good.
Yeah, exactly.
More difficult to make a poem or to meet and talk to friends and people? Is it more difficult to make a poem, or is it more difficult to talk to people when you meet them? What's more difficult or easy? Is that, yeah,
that makes sense.
Exactly. People get grounded by words and forget about spelling. There is ways to get around, and it is easier to write than to talk to people, but you can talk to people through your poetry.
Josh, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the workshop. It's made me forget about what's going on with the world, for like an hour, so it's been really therapeutic in that way. What would you say is the best way of getting your writing out there? Because I've got loads of writing and I want to share it, but I'm not sure how or when, or what do I do? How do I get it out there?
Thank you, Dave and all. I am going to have to go now. I am really sorry I can't stay, but I have definitely...
Social media blog. Make a show. I have seen your Facebook lives. Do some on there.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so Dave, Mel was just saying that she needs to go now. So thanks very much for being here, Mel. Everyone's waving at you.
Bye.
And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the next one, I expect. And keep writing. Josh, I just wanted to add to what Dave was just saying, because I think I do a lot of his social media stuff and website and things like that. So the best thing to do actually is to cover all platforms, as many as you can, and get your writing out there. So I don't know if you already have a blog, but that's a great place to start. And you can get a free one through something like WordPress. Feel free to message me and I can give you some of these links or tips. I've done that for Dave's friend Hugo and a couple of other people before. So there's WordPress you could start a blog on. You could have your Facebook. I don't know if you use Instagram as well.
Yeah.
But all of these places, and people go on different platforms, so you'll reach more people the more platforms you're on.
Different audiences use different platforms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, don't get overwhelmed with it. Maybe like focus on one and then like copy and paste it onto the others. That's what we did with Dave's stuff. So he's mostly Facebook, and then I also put it on Instagram, and obviously it comes through his blog on his website and all of that.
Cool.
Yeah, but just keep planning it out.
Yeah.
I was wondering, it would be quite cool, seeing as this is the first workshop, to if we could have like a like maybe a Facebook group or something, or some sort of network where we can be sharing poetry among ourselves if we're not quite ready to, because it was, for me, it was tough to. This was the first poem I've written for years and years and years since school, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking to share. But I felt very comfortable with all of you guys, and so it might be nice to sort of to use baby steps, and to, cause it's been great hearing everybody else's perspectives as well, and it would be great to keep in touch, but also it'd be a good platform to share things as well. I was wondering what you guys thought about that.
Yeah, Dave, you want me to set that up? Yeah, okay, so we'll set up a group. Cool, thanks George for the suggestion. We'll set up a group through Dave's Facebook page and invite you all to that. Dave also, we were talking about this before this workshop, Dave also wanted to invite you all to, if you want to, you're welcome to send your poems from today or any other poems to him, for him to read and film and share online with credit to you, obviously. We just thought it might be a nice idea if you felt a bit shy, but you still wanted to get your words out there, Dave would be happy to read your poem for you, and then you can be tagged in it and share it. So let us know. Just feel free to email Dave at the Shouting Mute, and we'll cover those emails and reply and get on that. Okay, so is there anything else anybody wanted to say or ask before we're not being kicked out? So that's,
I guess I want people to, on the group, share poetry that they actually like, because actually I recently have been impacted by some poems that I found through like going to exhibitions and things, but I don't really have like, I don't really have I don't really know how to get hold or get a grasp of like, alternative forms of poetry and things that I think would be more relatable to me.
So like recommendations for
Yeah.
poets and books of poetry that might be out there.
Yeah.
Cool, that's a great idea too. Okay, we'll do that.
Just before we go, I just wanted to say that it's been really fantastic to meet you all, and better than I thought it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be pretty amazing. So it's saying something. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to come on to the next one if there's not a barrier for people that have already done it. Yeah, so just keep me in the loop. It'd be amazing.
Sure. Thanks, George. We will.
It'd be really cool to have like
Thanks
Dave's
very
prompt of the
much
week.
for joining me today. We'll
Go on, Josh. He's paused for you.
Oh, thank you. It'd be really cool to have like Dave's prompt of the week on this group, and then we create poems around that prompt. Because I've been doing writing workshops, and they say a word, and you can either go with that word or against it, and then you create a poem from that. And that's a good way to like get it going.
Right, I'm writing notes now.
Cool.
Too many ideas. You have to write them down. Okay, cool. Dave, I can tell you like that idea.
Thanks very much for joining me today. We'll let you know when the next workshops and shouting mute events are so you can join us again.
Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. I hope you've really enjoyed it. It's certainly nice for us to connect with other people and other writers. And yeah, we'll definitely take all those suggestions in. I'll be very busy for the next week, I'm sure. And we'll email you guys and let you know when the next one is and things like that. Can I just hear from anybody that doesn't want to be shared within this, when we do share this recording, if you want me to cut you out? No, you're all happy? Great. Okay. Well, have a lovely day. And yeah, we'll let you know when the next one is.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye.